Hello everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to make the foundation single crochet. The foundation single crochet is a great alternative if you have a pattern that tells you to chain out a foundation chain and then work your first row of single crochet. I'm not personally a fan of working into a starting chain, so anytime that I can, I will use this method as an alternative. The other nice thing about this stitch is it gives you a little extra stretch than a starting chain does. So if you find that as you're working like a garment, for example, that maybe your foundation chain is making it really tight at the end and it's the width is probably different as a result at that end versus the body, then this would be a great option to use as something that's it has more stretch to it. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to grab your yarn and hook and make a slip knot. Okay. Now when you're working a typical row of single crochet, you always have that chain one to start your row, and the reason for that is it gives you the height that you need to make your stitches. So we're still going to do that, but because we're making our foundation chain at the same time we're making our single crochet, we actually are going to chain two. We're going to have the first chain is going to be the stitch that's the bottom of our foundation single crochet, and then the second chain we make is going to be for the height of the row. So we are going to work into the second chain from our hook, or the first chain that we just made. And if you look, you can find that there's a V here, and flip it over, you'll find the back bump. Find that back bump and insert your hook underneath that and pull up a loop. Now before we can complete our first stitch, we have to set up for the second stitch, and we're going to do that by chaining one at this point. And now we are set up for that second stitch. From here, we're just going to go ahead and single crochet like we normally would. Yarn over and pull through two. There's our first foundation single crochet. For our subsequent stitches, we are going to go back to that chain that we just made and find on the side, you'll see a V. You're going to stick your hook right in between the two legs of that V, underneath both bars, when you're looking at the bottom of the stitch, and you're just going to pull up a loop. Chain one, set up for that next stitch, and now you can just go ahead and single crochet as normal. Yarn over, pull through two. Let's do it again. So I've pulled up a loop, chain one, yarn over, pull through two. Chain one, yarn over, pull through two. If you notice that your work starts to kind of curve a little bit in on itself, like this direction, kind of like a backward C, then you might want to make sure that you are loosening that first chain that you make, setting up for your next stitches, because if you make those chains too tight, it will start to kind of pull on itself. So when you go in between those two legs of that V, grab those two, underneath those two bars, and grab the yarn, pull up a loop, make it a nice loose loop, and make your chain. If you pull that chain too tight, it will start to curve in on itself. So be careful of that. Single crochet as normal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've now got 6 foundation single crochets. If I have a pattern that tells me to chain out 11 stitches and then single crochet into the second chain from the hook and in every stitch across, I will end up with a total of 10 single crochet stitches. So instead of doing 11 chains, we're going to do 10 foundation single crochets. I've got 6 now, I'm going to do 4 more. So once again, I'm going to find that bottom. See how now it's kind of obscured a little bit. So if you want to just wedge your hook underneath that one bar, you know where it's at, and then grab that second bar, you'll end up in the middle of that stitch as it's intended. Chain 1, single crochet. Here we have our V between the two legs of the V, under the 2 bars on the bottom of the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, chain 1, single crochet. And keeping those chain 1s consistent is going to make sure that your work stays straight and does not curve in on itself. So that should be 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So at this point, we've completed 10 foundation single crochets, and it looks just like this. If you were ready to make your second row, then you would just follow your pattern from there. Usually if it was going to be another row of single crochet, you would chain 1, turn your work, and then just work under the top V of your stitches, just like you normally would. Find your top V, work underneath it, and in each stitch, just the same way. Whether it's single crochet or double crochet, you put your hook in the same place. And that is how you make the foundation single crochet. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, that it was helpful for you. Leave me a note in the comments if there's anything you would like to see done, or if you have any questions about this stitch. I'm happy to help. And thanks for watching. All right, guys, bye.